Hello, everybody. We're going to start in just a few minutes. I just want to tell you that there's still some people coming in, and there's some empty seats. If you would, scooch in. It's a lot easier for people to find their seats if they don't have to go looking in the middle. If you would. Just think about it. So, I want to welcome you all here tonight. Birds on the Niagara. This is our 7th consecutive year of doing it. And this is our biggest festival, and we've got a lot of really wonderful things that are happening this year that are going to continue to be happening. One thing I want to start with is that this program here at the Burchfield is part of a Burchfield Collaborates partnership. And one of the perks for you being here tonight, if you're interested, is that you can buy a Burchfield membership for 10% discount. And I guess there's a QR code out there. If you want to do it, you can just use your phone and it'll get you a discount. I want to start by just thanking all of you for coming here tonight. This is amazing that we've got this sellout. We have the pretty amazing speaker. So thank you, all of you that are in the audience that have come here. I also want to thank a couple of other people, and some of this stuff will be running up there. This shows some of our history, some of our sponsors, some of our past programs. We have a really nice board, and I don't know how many board members are here tonight. We only have about 4 or 5, but if you are here, if you could stand up and just wave. I guess I should introduce myself, right? My name is Jay Burney, and I'm the president of the board. And Marianne Kedron, who is, I think, out there taking notes on the hallway. She's our vice president. Anna Prepera, I don't know if you're here, she's our treasurer. Marcus Roston, Ruth Goldman. That's our board. It's an important group of people who have come together and worked really hard over the last several months to make sure this happens. And there's a lot of great things happening. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. I also want to thank our Canadian partners. One of the unique things about this event is it's an international bird festival. It's the only international bird festival in North America. It's pretty cool. And our partners in Canada are such an important part of it. And I know that some of them are here today. Marcy Jacqueline. There you go. Here's Marcy. Both sides of the border have pretty robust programs, and you can go online and see our website and find out the programs that are going on now through Monday. And there's just so many neat things, including in Canada. I'm going to mention this again. The Niagara Glen is going to be having an open house on Monday, and you go there, you find out about the nature and geology work that they do. So anyway, just it's great to be international and have the opportunity to share what we're doing across the border, because wildlife, biodiversity doesn't recognize the borders. People do, and sometimes it's hard to collaborate and to cooperate with each other. But we're doing it, and what we're doing is, I'll tell you about that in a second. A couple of other things I want to appreciate here tonight. We have sponsors, and you'll see some of them up here. We have the Niagara Falls National Heritage Area. We have Buffalo Ornithological Society. We have commercial sponsors like Swarovski Optic, Kawa, and Vortex. We have Pollinator Conservation Association. There's probably a few others. Western New York Land Conservancy. They've all donated money and time to help us. Really importantly, our volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers that have worked to make this possible on both sides of the border. And if you're a volunteer for this event, stand up. Let's applause. If you're not here tonight, you're not here tonight. But we have a lot of volunteers that have made this really important. Okay. I want to tell you a little bit about our festival. We created this 7 years ago, and there's a number of things that we decided to make ourselves about. First, birds in the Niagara. This is an incredible bird place, especially in the wintertime, but all year round. It's a globally significant, important bird area. Now that's a designation that is an international recognition because of the science that makes us important to birds. We have birds, for instance, in the wintertime right now out on the river that come here from the Arctic. They depend on this area. Now, most winters, or many winters, or some past winters, say that because of climate change, this has been the first open water when birds are coming from the north. So you get a lot of waterfowl, ducks and geese, and swans like tundra swans. They come here in massive numbers. They find the open waters. They find food. They find companionship. They socialize. And also, this is the time of the year, coincidentally, just around Valentine's Day, where a lot of them are in breeding activity. They have breeding plumage, so you see these beautiful birds out there. And they're doing breeding dances and sort of getting to know each other, and it's fun to watch. And so in the wintertime, birds from the north come here in numbers you hardly find anywhere else on the planet. And it's true. So this is an important area. We're in the Great Lakes, 20% of the fresh surface water. Birds come here. In the winter, this is like the Miami of many birds that come from the far north. And they're just loving it. I mean, if you're out there today, there's a lot of birds out there diving and eating, and you know, man, I'm out there. They're loving it. It's Miami. In other seasons, we have migrants that come from places like the Amazon, Central America, the Caribbean, the Amazon. Birds come through here in the summer. That winter, right now they're in the Amazon. They come here and they breed here. And so conserving our areas is really important. When you talk about or think about how do we save the earth, which is part of our message, how do we conserve? Because the second part besides birds is conservation. We want to save the Amazon? Sure, everybody wants to save the Amazon. You want to save the Arctic? Yeah, we have to save here. We have to do conservation here because we contribute so much to the biodiversity of places like the Amazon, the Arctic, the Northwest Boreal coasts. A lot of birds come here, depend on this area. And so our next big message is conservation. And we have a lot of programs that talk about conservation. What places do we need to conserve? How do we do it? What are we not doing? And so a lot of our discussions are about making sure that we have an understanding and a conversation and action towards conserving this area. And a lot of our programs are about that, and a lot of our partners are about that. The other major message that we try to do here involves social justice. We understand political borders, and sometimes those borders are difficult for different cultures to cross. And we have, birds from Mexico. We have butterflies from Mexico. We have migrants, and we have a connection to those cultures that are all over the globe, all over the hemisphere. And so that cultural connection is something that we think about in terms of social justice. We also recognize that there are a lot of different cultures that are here that don't always have the kind of voice that we think should be at the table. Indigenous people, people of color, LGBTQ people. We want to make sure that we are collaborating with a lot of voices, because if we're going to move forward into the future, we want something for our children, our collective culture's children and grandchildren. If we don't work together, it's going to be a lot harder to make sure that we have a future that everyone can feel good about and survive in. Survival. So the last thing that I want to talk about before I introduce our keynote is this region. The Niagara River Corridor, the IBA, it's also a Ramsar Wetlands International Importance. Great Lakes, 20% of the Earth's fresh surface water is here. That's a big responsibility for us. We're a corridor, a strait. It's not actually a river, it's a strait that goes from the western Great Lakes to the eastern Great Lakes, Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. It's a natural corridor that all sorts of migrations happen. You get fish migrations, you get bird migrations, you get insect migrations like the monarch butterfly that comes through here in abundance in the right season going on its way to Mexico. Conservation, connections. This place is so important. And we hope to help inspire you all to not only know about that and think about that, but help us figure out how to solve the future. And I guess that's it. That's why we're here, and that's why we do what we do. And I so much appreciate that you're all here. I appreciate everyone that's working on this with us, because we're going to make the future work. It ain't looking good a lot of times, but if you think about it, what can we do? There's a lot we can do. We can work together, and we can do things like this festival. And thank you. About 5 minutes, but maybe our keynoter is ready to come up and start the presentation. I think he's saying yes. So, why don't you come on up here? I'm going to say, this. He doesn't need an introduction. Everyone knows who David Sibley is, and he's been here today and last night, and he did an art workshop for artists today. He did a student meet and greet, and now he's going to be here to talk to us about who he is and what he does, and he's going to do a book signing afterwards. If you need a book, we're still selling them out there, and he'll be signing afterwards. Where'd you go? There you go. It's the bright lights.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jay. It's great to be here and to see such a nice big crowd of bird watchers. It's one that, I spent most of my life traveling around watching birds, and one of the nicest, most fun, most, reassuring things is going wherever I go in the United States and Canada. There is a community of bird watchers. And if you stop to talk to people and ask them about their favorite birding spots, they're always great, really excited things about the birds that are right here. This Niagara Falls, this Niagara River here is really an extraordinary area, but it's really true that wherever you go, you'll see extraordinary birds. It's one of the things that makes bird watching so much fun. But it's just a real pleasure for me to travel to places like this and see a thriving community of bird watchers really appreciating the extraordinary bird life and environment that you have here. So.